What's going on, guys? Bells here, back with another video, and this will be a little bit of a shorter video just because I wanted to spotlight Hydreigon for a little bit, right? And we just finished the almost 500 person tournament over the weekend with Limitless, hosted by Billa VGC. So once again, thanks again for hosting, Billa. And one thing to note from this tournament. First, so we're going to analyze everything from this tournament in another video after this. But one thing I really wanted to spotlight was the rise of Hydreigon for this one, right? So, we recently saw like Dragonite and, Qianpao dominate meta for a couple of days. And now all of a sudden, out of the blue, now we have Hydreigon rising, right? And now the question is, well, why is Hydreigon doing so well all of a sudden, right? So let's take a look at the base stats first, and then let's look at all the teams that used Hydreigon, because there's a lot of them, and see what kind of common sets that people are using for Hydreigon. So here we go. We'll go into Showdown here, and of course it's a Dark Dragon type, kind of like Roaring Moon, right? It does have Levitate, so now you can use it as a potential ground pivot if you're fearing like a Garchomp Earthquake, or you could put it on the same team as your Garchomp and be able to click Earthquake freely, right? But besides that, it's got great bulk, 92 HP, 90 defense, 90 special defense, really good special attacker, base 125, and that speed, although it doesn't hit that VGC tier of base 100 speed mod, it's still a pretty good speed tier, and you can outspeed a lot of threats in the meta, but that being said, the typing is what's important here. That this dark typing is very key, because so far in Scarlet and Violet we've seen a lot of dark types, and Hydreigon is no exception to that rule. It puts on a lot of pressure on the psychic mons, and it's great against Dragapult, another dragon type but also a ghost type, and really nice against like other Tyrannitars that want to go for like Terra Ghost, but that's not as common as the other two. But overall, you have access to a lot of different tools, and these teams in the Limitless tournament, they were using a lot of these tools, and let's look at why they were doing so well with it. So the top 4 teams already had a Hydreigon on it, and they all ran a different set, which is also what I wanted to highlight today. But in actuality, look at all the teams that use Hydreigon. Oh my goodness. I just want to look at the top 36, because again, if you were in the tournament and you reached day 2 Swiss, those were 36 teams. So let's look at, of the 36, how many made or how many used Hydreigon, right? So of course the winner had it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then whatchamacallit, 13, 14, where are we? 15. Okay. Yeah, so 15 of, I think I got 15. 15 of the 36 teams had a Hydreigon on it. That's insane. All right, that's pretty much almost half that ran Hydreigon. And then of the Hydreigon teams, how many ran them next to Garchomp? Let's see. That's 1. That's 2. Technically next to Gyarados, so that's also a similar concept. Where else do we see it? Nope, not there. All right, that's 3. That's 4. Okay, not here. Well, Dragonite, same concept, similar. So I'll count that as 4.5. Okay, 5. 6. Yeah, so basically like, so of the 15, almost about half were running like another dragon type next to it, and Garchomp was the common choice, right? Because again, like we said, you can make Garchomp, Earthquake next to Hydreigon, and it does a bunch of damage, and your Hydreigon is relatively safe because you have Levitate ability, right? But what else can you do with Hydreigon that's really good into the rest of the meta? So to answer that question, we have to look at the sets from these players. So we're going to look at Fede Campo VGC's team and see what kind of team that he was using. And again, this was the same squad, I think, that was built by Hamster Mania. So check out their channel. They're also a very good player. But this is a Life Orb Hydreigon set with Terra Fire, Heat Wave, Dark Pulse, Draco Meteor, and Protect. And we have that set first over here. And it was a 252 set from Hamster Mania, I believe. So what's really cool about this is, of course, you get your Dark Stab, you get your Dragon Stab, and then you're just trying to deal a bunch of damage. You have your Life Orb here. And then Heat Wave is really good because you're catching the steel types, right? So, you know, if you imagine the steel types as like other dragons going for steel type, or like Goldengos that are running around, or maybe like a Corviknight that's running around. So like just anything that's going for a steel type or is a steel type, you know, you can put pressure on it with Heat Wave. Terra Fire, again, will add to that damage. And not only that, you know, remember, fire resists fairy damage. So if you're up against like a Sylveon, for example, the fire damage will be able to resist it. And then you can just deal damage right back with your own Heat Wave, for example, right? So it's really, really nice. It's an offensive set, a very straightforward set, 2 stabs, and then you're a fire move over here. So cool set by Fede, but also technically hamster made. And now let's look at Aaron Trailer's team. So he had a Dondozo squad. Okay, and it also featured a Hydreigon, so it's still a Life Orb set, but now he has Tailwind on it, and it makes sense, right? Because if we go back to Fede's team, he had a Murkrow with Tailwind on it already, so there was no need to put Tailwind on his Hydreigon. But if you go back to Aaron's team, you know, he doesn't have a Murkrow or another Tailwind setter for that matter, so he has to put it on the Hydreigon. So this way, you know, still being able to put out damage with the Life Orb, but, you know, still able to give your team speed control with that Tailwind option. Oh, and he's got 2 Trick Room sets. That's kind of cool. But we'll look at the team as a whole in another video. But yeah, so this Hydreigon is also able to provide Tailwind, right? In addition to putting out offense. And unlike Fede and Hamster's team, this one was a Terra Steel type. And now this has Flash Cannon, right? And I believe that's correct. Yeah, so this one has Flash Cannon. So in the reverse side, right, if you think of the Fairy weakness, you know, the Fairy's not going to do anything if you're a Steel type, and you can hit it super effective right back with Flash Cannon, which is actually really, really nice. And I think Aaron put out a rental code for his team, and I believe in the PokePaste this was the spread as well. So two spreads with 252, 252. So really, really cool option there. And again, you can always use Hydreigon as a support set now because it gets Tailwind. But he has another really, really good move that we're going to see in a second. But, you know, just covering the first 2 offensive sets. So let's go into the 3rd place team and see what set that they were running on their Hydreigon from Lele BK. All right, so we'll just open up this tab here. And it is a Choice Specs Hydreigon with Terra type Poison. All right, so another different Terra type, and he has 4 attacks, of course, because he is a spec set. So again, I don't know his spreads, but I'm just gonna guess it's this. Did he have? I just want to look at like just team comps. Did he have? Yes. So this one also has a Murkrow, so he also has Tailwind, and that would probably just make me assume that this is a 253 set because it is a choice item. So this is the other move that Hydreigon gets. It gets access to Snarl, and it's a stab move, and it's a special attacking move, which, you know, will do a lot of damage, right? And if you think about who was using Snarl before Hydreigon, we were using Arcanine for Snarl support, and Arcanine, you know, we were mainly using it as a physical attacker, and the Snarl special attack reduction was nice, but this wasn't really doing damage, right? Because, you know, it's a non-stab move, and you're not really a special attacker. But now, with Hydreigon, not only is it a stab move, but now your Snarls are doing a bunch of extra chip damage, and it's almost like not even chip damage anymore. Like Choice Spec Snarl will not only give you damage mitigation, but it's just going to deal quite a bit of damage, which is really nice. And then you have Dark Pulse here, which is, of course, you know, your other stab move for flinch chance. Draco Meteors, Choice Specs can like one-shot a lot of different things. And then you have Terra Blast, which will be Terra Poison. And now you might be asking, why are we doing Terra Poison? So it has like an offense and a defense kind of thing, because the poison typing resists fairy and it resists fighting damage, right? And if you remember, dark types are weak to fighting. So if you're a poison type, that's able to, you know, resist that as well. And then you can dish out poison damage of your own. So really good against, you know, potential grass types. Also really good against fairy types, like, you know, a Grimmsnarl or like a Sylveon or just some other like fairy that's running around. But those are like the 2 common ones at the moment. So really cool set over here again, and because it's a spec set, it's another offensive set. So now let's look at the 4th one, which is yet another Dondozo team with you know, a Hydreigon on it. But let's see what set they're running here, and this is the one that I liked, which is the Assault Vest set. And if you go into his Terra type, it is a Steel type. So this is the fourth one that we've seen. So like all kinds of sets on Hydreigon so far. But this was, I believe, wait, was he Terra Steel? Yes, I believe so, right? Okay. Yeah, it was a Terra Steel set, right? So let me just adjust this real quick. So, and again, it's like a similar idea to the second set, where they also had Flash Cannon with Terra Steel. Now, this one, Flash Cannon is back, but instead of the Life Orb, we have the Assault Vest, and we have Snarls, right? So this is meant to be a bulky Hydreigon with Flash Cannon that can put pressure on like potential Rock types, potential Fairy types, Snarl for damage mitigation, and then you have the Assault Vest where you're able to take those Fairy special attacks much better, like a Sylveon Pixelate Hyper Voice. I don't know too many mons that want to be able to take that, but you can resist that, of course, you know, because you have Terra Steel. But really, really nice bulky set. I think Joe also ran this too, right? I was watching a stream in the tournament. So another bulky set with Assault Vest, and I think you might even go Modest here, assuming that there was Tailwind on his team. Yeah, so it was like Garchomp Talonflame stuff with Goldango Hydreigon, right? This is like a core in itself, with a Dragon Steel type over here, with Goldango as well. But now, if you just think about like, well, which is the best set? And the answer is there is no best set. It really all depends on how you want to use Hydreigon and what kind of role does it have on your team, right? And you can see that the other teams with Tailwind, they did not have Tailwind under Hydreigon. But if there was no Tailwind setter, then, you know, Aaron, for example, put Tailwind on his Hydreigon, right? So really good. So again, with your Dragon Stabs, you're able to put pressure on pretty much all the Dragon types, something like a Dragonite, something like a Dragapult. Then you're able to deal dark damage into the Steel types, not the Steel types, I'm sorry, the Psychic types, you know, stuff like, you know, other special attackers as well, neuter them with Snarls, and then, you know, just be bulky on the field, Terra into a Steel type, deal a bunch of damage. Levitate is really good as a ground pivot, really, really good next to Garchomp. So this way Garchomp can be the Dragon type, and now your Hydreigon can be your Steel type, or it can be your Fire type. Either way, but again, you know, because you have Levitate, you know, really, really nice compliment to Garchomp there. So it's really interesting, right? It's like these Hydreigon Garchomp teams with Talonflame and Goldango as like a core, how they're utilized. But let's just take a quick peek at some of these Hydreigon squads, just overall. So like this one had Dragonite with it, more or less the same idea, but I don't think, but again, there's no Earthquake over here, right? So this one had, again, the Dondozo stuff. This one was, again, Murkrow with Arcanine and Goldango. So there's your core again. If you look at this one, another Murkrow team with Hydreigon and Goldango and a Dragon type. This one, you know, this one, again, Goldango, Dragon type, Hydreigon, Murkrow. See? You see the formula here? Murkrow plus Hydreigon, Goldango plus Dragon. That's your four. That's the core. Okay? And that's where we're at right now with this meta. And here, let's look at Ray over here. So here we go. Hydreigon, Goldango, some Prankster Mon, which, you know, okay, it's not Tailwind, and do we have another Dragon here? Okay, we don't. All right, that's fine. Where else? Okay, right here. Murkrow, Hydreigon, Garchomp, Goldango. Okay, there we go. We're following the formula here. This guy. Hydreigon, Garchomp. Okay, no Goldango. All right, you have a Garganical and then a Prankster Fairymon. Okay, that's fine. This one, same idea. All right, Garchomp, Hydreigon, Talon. All right, Talonflame for Tailwind, which is the Murkrow roll, and then this one has a Sylveon. So okay, you got that, and then of course the Tatsugiri stuff. Yeah, we get it. All right, same idea over here. The Wobbuffet. We just built a similar team to this, by the way. I think we had something else in there. Oh, we had Sylveon in the Grimmsnarl slot. So again, Hydreigon. Oh no, wait, this is just Garchomp. Never mind. I'm silly. All right, over here. Hydreigon, Fairy. Oh, two Fairy types. Okay, that one's a weird one. That's interesting. As we go down here. Okay, here we go. Garchomp, Hydreigon, Murkrow, Goldango. All right, how many times am I repeating this? You get the idea, right? It's a very common formula. Okay, and we'll just go ahead and put that over here for just as a second, because it's a really nice core, and it does a lot of things. So, you know, we can always just build this real quick. I'm sorry. Goldango, and some Tailwind mon like a Murkrow or a Talonflame or whatever. But the idea is this is your core, and now these two are like your fillers, like meta calls or something of the sort. But a lot of damage here from Garchomp, Hydreigon, and Goldango. This is support. Maybe one more support mon, maybe even two, or one support and one more like setup mon or something like that. It really all depends on you guys. It's very easy to do Dondozo Tatsugiri here. You don't have to do that. You can just add more options here, just depending on what you want to do. There's lots of different things. And again, if you want like reference, you can just use these teams as like, okay, what are these guys doing? Which one do I like the most? And then just go from there, right? But again, just really highlighting Hydreigon for a second. I think it did really, really well in the tournament. I'm surprised to see so many. And again, if you really want to go down the list outside the top 36, like if you just keep on going, like it's literally just all Hydreigon stuff. And then Garchomp with it as well. Like it's just really, really insane how Hydreigon has just all of a sudden risen. And by the way, if you want to like compete in these like tournaments, you have to join Twitter because this is where all the news gets announced. Limitless is a really, really cool website for doing this. Because what's really cool is you can see all the pairings, and then you can see like the teams that they're using and their movesets, just no EVs, right? So I really, really like this website. So definitely consider using it. I guess I'll put it in the video description, and we'll cover a lot of different meta ideas as a whole when we analyze the tournament fully in another video coming up after this one. But this one is just like strictly like, wow, Hydreigon has risen. Oh my goodness, right? So yeah, let me know what you think of Hydreigon, and let me know if you're trying to use Hydreigon yourself and what kind of sets you're running. But we'll be back in another video in the next one, guys. Peace out and have a good night.